Hello guys, Jose here, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a new monitor from BenQ. This is the EX480UZ. It features 4K 120Hz, AMD Freesync Premium, OLED display with 0.1 milliseconds response time, 98% DCI-P3 color space. So this monitor not only performs great for gaming, but it also has an amazing picture. I mostly do gaming on consoles, so in this video, I'm going to hook up my Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, test all the features and share my personal settings for the best picture possible for gaming in HDR and SDR. Alright, so before I start the video, let's go into the Xbox settings, and then we're going to go in TV display options, and then of course I have the resolution at 4K, but you also have the option of 1440p if you want, 1080p and 720p. We're just going to leave it at 4K. The refresh rate is at 120 Hz, or you can also switch to 60 Hz, but I want to play 120 Hz. 4K TV details, we get all the green check marks right here, except for Dolby Vision, because this TV or this monitor doesn't support Dolby Vision. Then let's go to video modes, and then we have everything selected except for auto low latency mode. That's because this monitor doesn't have any enhancements, any motion enhancements like any regular TV has. So basically we don't need auto low latency mode here. We also have HDR is selected and auto is in 4K, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so now let's go into the PlayStation 5. Let's go into the sound and screen video so we can check all the video output information that we have here. So resolution is in automatic. It also 1440p support. VRR is in automatic. 120 Hz is in automatic. There is no auto low latency mode. Low latency mode available because this is a monitor. 4K HDR is always on, so it is supported. And let's go over here to output information, 3040x2160 RGB HDR. So yes, it supports VRR HDR 1440p on the PlayStation 5 as well. Okay, so I've been playing all kinds of games in this monitor, and so far the picture looks amazing. Colors are vivid and blacks are great, well, considering this is an OLED TV display. Another advantage from OLED displays are the viewing angles. They maintain color accuracy no matter where you're sitting. Although for the most part I'm sitting right in front of the monitor, it's nice to know that I'm getting the best picture at any angle. Another advantage from OLEDs is the fast response time. With 0.1 milliseconds, this is great for fast-paced games like Call of Duty or first-person shooters where every millisecond counts. The gameplay feels fast and responsive with no stuttering or screen tearing, and that is also thanks to the VRR support this monitor has. Now, even though there is no Dolby Vision support, HDR looks great, especially HDRi, which is BenQ's own fine-tuned feature to enhance color details and clarity. Here, let me show you the settings that I'm using to get the best picture possible. Alright guys, so I'm going to share with you my settings. Let's go real quick to remote controller. First, I'm going to go to the HDRi option, and I'm using Game HDR. And then we also have the option of Cinema HDR and then regular HDR. So this regular HDR, as you notice, it gets a little bit dimmer, and also the picture is a little bit warmer, so it has this yellowish tone. And then Cinema HDR is more neutral, but the picture is not as bright. And then Game HDR, it gets a little bit brighter. Both of this Game and Cinema HDR are really good options, and you can customize them. The HDR, native HDR, there's very limited settings available. So let's go back over here let's go into the menu, and then right here, this is really important because you can see all the information that we have. 3840x2160 HDR is on, 120 Hz is on, and Freesync Premium is on. So you get to see all that information here. You can also change the cinema, the color mode, which is the one that I just showed you right now. And then you can adjust the light tuner So for the light tuner, you can either choose to make it a little bit darker or a little bit brighter, but what it does is just introducing a lot of white throughout the whole picture, so the picture looks washed out. I don't like that. The best option for me right now, it will be -4. I think it's very well balanced. There's good shadow details, and also there's enough brightness, but you can make these adjustments to your own taste. Over here in audio mode, I'm using Cinema. This monitor offers really good sound. This is SPG racing mode. I noticed that in racing mode there's more bass in there. It's a little bit, you can notice it right away. Then FPS mode is more like towards in the center, the sound. I mean, honestly, I prefer Cinema. It's a very well balanced sound, and it sounds great. Obviously, I'm going to be using most of the time my headphone, but just in case if you want to use the speakers from this monitor, you have that option as well. Brightness is 100%, and let's go into the menu. And then right here, we're going to go into the color mode. This is, once again, you get to choose what option you want to use, Cinema HDR or Game HDR. In this case, I'm going to use Game HDR. And then we also going to have these other options, which is the light tuner. I already showed you the light tuner -4. And this is a brightness equalizer. This pretty much is kind of like light tuner, but it's makes the image go dimmer, darker, and even more darker. So I'm going to leave it at 0. Color vibrancy or vibrance. So this, I have it at level 12. This is gaming. So in gaming, I like to have a little bit of pop in my colors, a little bit more vibrancy. And I think in level 12 is a sweet spot for me. Brightness is 100%. Contrast is at 60. So in contrast, this is where you're gonna get the best highlights possible, but also you don't want to have blown highlights, otherwise you'll be missing a lot of details in the picture as well. So I feel like in level 60 is well balanced. Sharpness, I reduce balance. I remove all the sharpness from this monitor. I like it at 0. Brightness Intelligence Plus, this is where you let the sensor control the brightness of the picture depending on the ambient light. So you can have this on if you want it to, automatically adjust it to the ambient light. But honestly, I prefer to turn this off because I want my picture to be as bright as possible, and I want to have control over that. And that is pretty much it. You can have these options, all the settings available on Cinema HDR as well. You can make those adjustments. But on HDR, which is the supposed HDR from the native HDR, you are very limited on what settings adjustments you have here. So only have brightness equalizer, and sharpness available, and that's it. So that's why I prefer to use Game HDR. I think it looks fantastic. All right. I haven't played this game in such a long time, but as of right now, look at this picture. Oh my God, it looks amazing. Very sharp, very colorful. It's very bright too. I mean, this is very similar to the C1 OLED that I have here. Obviously the picture looks amazing, but with the settings, those adjustments that I just did, you guys are gonna love this. Looks fantastic. So if you have this monitor or planning on buying this monitor, make sure that you adjust the settings accordingly. But my suggested settings, I think they work very well. Oh man. Oh man. Oh no. Oh, they got me. There was another guy right there. Oh my God. Alright guys, so let's say that you're playing a game that doesn't support HDR. You're playing in standard dynamic range. So I'm gonna share with you my settings that I use to make it look beautiful, very colorful. So this is an SDR game. Let's go into the menu real quick, and right out of the way we can see the information right here. It's 2160, 120 Hertz. HDR is turned off, and there's also Freesync Premium is active. So right here we have color mode. I'm using custom because I'm able to customize a lot of settings. That's what I'm going to share with you right now. Light tuner is a -4. Audio, I'm using Cinema audio, and brightness is a 100%. So So let's go into the menu real quick. And then right here in color mode, you have plenty different options. Right now I'm using custom because I customized mine, but you have display P3 or DCI P3 color space. And then you also have some options right here. Let's see if I can adjust this. Brightness, contrast, sharpness, and that's it. So some of these options, they don't offer a lot of settings adjustments. That's why I'm using custom. This is MBook, sRGB, racing, game, or you're planning of playing RPG. So this monitor does offer some presets for specific games. This is FPS and this is HDR, but this is like an emulated HDR, cinema HDRi, and game HDRi. Although I must say that this game HDRi looks really nice, but this is an emulated HDR, so it's going to have like fake colors and black levels. This is just not the native HDR because this game obviously doesn't support it. So I'm going to go back to custom, and then right here, light equalizer, as I mentioned, this is at -4. Brightness equalizer, this is 0. Color vibrance is at 12. Brightness 100%. Contrast is at 50. Now this is different than when I'm using HDR, because I noticed that in contrast, if I increase this, you get blown contrast. So you do lose a lot of details on that. That's why I leave it at 50. Sharpness is at 0. Brightness Intelligent Plus, I turn this off. I want to have control over brightness. Gamma, I have this one at 2. If you want a darker picture, you can increase this, level 3 and 4 and 5. Obviously, the whole picture looks a lot darker, but it looks nice though. But I noticed that in dark scenes, you will lose a lot of shadow details. So between 2 and 3, I feel like in 2 is the sweet spot. That's what I'm using, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Color temperature, I have this one in normal. But if you want a cooler picture, you have this bluish option. It says bluish right here. And if you want to be a little bit warmer, reddish option is the best choice. Honestly, I feel like normal is well balanced. I like it like that. But you can also customize this, which is nice. And that's pretty much it. You can reset everything that you just made the adjustments. And look at this. Oh my God, it looks beautiful. Even though this game doesn't support HDR, this is SDR. Oh my God, it looks amazing. So these are my own personal settings when gaming with this monitor. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about this monitor, let me know in the comments below, because I'm still working on my full review of this monitor, and that way I can know what to touch, what to investigate about this. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This will help me a lot to promote this video so I can get more views and I continue working, making videos like this for you. Thank you so much. I'm Joester, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Joester out!